Hi everybody, this is Brad. Today I'm going to show you how to check facts, whether online or not. I'm going to provide you with 3 different websites and 2 different plugins to help you combat fake news. So the first one we have here is PolitiFact, just politifact.com, and it is funded by a nonprofit organization called the Poynter Institute for Media Studies. And the journalists and editors that run the site are independent. It did start out as a project for the Tampa Bay Times, but it has since moved on. It's really transparent with what it's telling you because it cites its sources and explains things. There is a rating scale that it gives you with a handy gauge. So if I scroll down, you can see you have the claim, where the claim made, and what the fact is, whether it's a fact or not. The ratings go from true to pants on fire, actually. So it's kind of humorous, but also serious, because it's really dealing with serious things. So you can see that it goes all over the place. It's interviews, Facebook posts, there's viral images. You can see, here we go, there's a pants on fire one. So if you're concerned as to why they're saying that, you click in here, and what it does is it gives you an overview of what they're trying to get across. And so here's your time is short, right? So here's the too long didn't read kind of list. This is the quick synopsis, and then it goes into more details in where the claim came from, why the claim is right or the claim is wrong in some cases. So this is definitely more politically oriented. This being an election year, that's probably very important. So that's politifact.com. The next one I'm going to go to is Snopes. So Snopes was actually the first fact-checking site online, or so they claim. It was founded in 1994 by a husband and wife team. Well, the wife came a little later, and there's a big issue with a bad divorce. But now they have an entire team, so it's not just like 2 people doing it. They did start more the urban legends side of things, but they have since moved to fact checks and stuff like that. And so they have their own rating scale, and their rating scale is similar to what PolitiFact was. You can see this one I like this one because it's one of the older ones, and a lot of people do refer to it. It is quoted. But this one, unlike PolitiFact, is funded by ads. You can see that the site is really suffering from it, because where's the fact check, right? And finally you get down here, and this is where you actually get into the articles, whether they're true or not. And you can see it's just taking a long time to load. I do have a lot of different tabs open, so I'm sure that's giving some problems to the loading speed. But I've found that this is really a difficult site to use, but worthwhile, because you can see here's your mixture, right? So a lot of the myths or fake news aren't really fake news. It's more how it's presenting the information. So Snopes is a good second source. You always want to make sure that you have more than one source that you're using to verify facts. So Snopes is a worthwhile, maybe secondary source. Now I'm going to move to allsides.com. And so this is a little different than the previous 2, and it really speaks to the bias that we all have based on our beliefs. And so instead of saying like this is fact or this is fake news, what it does is it gives you an issue. You can see in the front here, it gives you an issue that is in the news, and then it curates headlines from each side of the aisle. And you can click the headline, and what it'll do is it'll present each of the stories side by side, so you can kind of compare what they're saying. Everyone's going to have their own agenda, their own bias to bring to a story. And so this is a really good way of seeing the agenda of the news sources that you have. And they're completely transparent as well. Their staff is made up of independent journalists and editors from across the aisle. So you have some people that are so far left, and then you have people so far right. And so that really gives you a balance of what kind of information you're getting. So that's allsides.com, fantastic resource. One thing that I really like about it is it kind of gives you this chart here, the bias chart. And so this is a fantastic image. And I will actually be posting this on a web page on the William Library website, and so you can. I'll have a slideshow, and so it has this image, so you can refer back to it. Because there's nothing wrong with getting all your news from the left, the far left or the far right, but just know that you're getting extremely biased information from those sources, and so it's not going to give you the whole picture. It's really going to cherry pick facts. And so you can see that each organization really slants one way or another. And so, as a librarian, I really do like to stick in the center, because that's really presenting both sides of the story equally, or as equally as it can be. Because sometimes things that happen are rooted in bias that you cannot separate for them. And so this is the chart that All Sides uses. So that's the last website I will do. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is a couple of plugins that you can add to either your Firefox or your Chrome installation. The first one is NewsGuard. It is a newer plugin. If I close this here, so you can see here's the plugin here, the NewsGuard, and what it does is it rates sites based on transparency and credibility. And if you want to know how they scored, you can click in here and find out more information. You see that it doesn't correct errors is one of the things, and you see how much the points are worth. So it is very transparent as to why a site is trusted or not. Once you have it installed, it actually also looks at your Google search results. And so I search for best videos conferencing software, and ZDNet is a trusted site that I use for my research and technology. So isn't PC Mag. But TechRadar I also use, but no one has submitted that site to the editors for review. And so it does not get a bad review or a good review. Oh, it looks like it's in process. So somebody has submitted it, but they haven't come up with their answers yet. So Google search results are automatically rated when you have the plugin installed. Facebook sites Facebook is as well. And so we post something, anybody posts a link, and you have the NewsGuard installed, you can see that it is rating it. And so the patch, which is great because it's local news, gets 100%. So that is NewsGuard. Great plugin. It's not going to have everything, so it's not perfect. And so I always like to try to give people more resources. And the second plugin I want to talk about is FakerFact. Now you can see this is a beta, so it's a newer extension. Works for either Chrome or Firefox. And what it actually leverages artificial intelligence, or AI, and they have named him Walt. And so what you can do with FakerFact is install the plugin, and then you can have it read a page. And so here's a page from Boston.com, and here is the FakerFact plugin. So if I click it, what it's going to do is read the page and evaluate it based on a certain number of criteria and give you what it thinks about it. And so you can see it's a little bit sensational. It is journalism. It's not a wiki or satire, agenda driven. So remember, it would probably flag one of those far right or far left news sources that we saw with a media bias. You scroll down a little bit, and you can kind of see why. So it's picking out parts of the article that it thinks is sensational. If we go to a more widely known one or global one, let's go ahead and click in here and see what it has to say about this article. So again, I click here, and it reads it, and it's sensational. So BBC is obviously a well-respected news source, but that doesn't exempt them from being sensational. And on a site, you can most likely find different ratings for them. So if I scroll down, let's go into like one of the sports articles. I don't follow Formula One, so I'm not sure if this is going to be sensational or not, but let's read it and let's see what it says. Oh, it's journalism, so just facts, right? Just the facts. So that is another handy plugin you can have. So those are the two resources I have. If you know of any more, please email me at bmckenna@wilmlibrary.org, and I'll share them out, because when it comes to fact-checking resources, the more the better, because you will see certain trends among the resources when it comes to checking certain facts. All right, I hope everyone is staying well. I will talk to you later.